welcome to the show, Film Festival Live and FilmFestivalLive.com. Woo! I haven't been here in like a month and a half. I don't know what I'm doing. I kept my guest uh, uh, waiting, and don't show up at the party early. But he did, and it was great. And I'm excited to have this guest on as the first guest for 2022. Raise the roof, all that other stuff. And we're going to have a lot of fun with this one because I've had this guest, Sean Piccinino. By the way, it took me about 2 years of a dialect coach to get Piccinino right. And I finally did. And I'm very excited by that. So now it's funny because I was putting in the information in my lower thirds, which you'll see in a moment, the way to spell it and all that stuff, because you'll be like, oh, it's that dude who did this film and that film and this film. And anyway, I had to literally, all I had to do is say the name in my phone and it spelled it correctly. Siri must know or is trying to get in one of Sean's films. Let's be honest. Okay. So there it is. Welcome back to the show. Lots of stuff happening. All kinds of fun stuff. I just spent 2.5, 3 weeks on a film, a big Western film, doing all my shite with a good, actually, who's become a good friend of mine, Tim V. Murphy, who is in just a boatload of shit, and I was his right hand assassin cowboy guy with some things going on because I love being outside of myself and a character. And you'll see, film at 11. It's going to be going to Sundance, and I heard somewhere else, and I can't say. Very excited because this might be my breakout film. Also, I can't say it now, but by the end of the week, in the next week, I'm going to be telling you about a TV series that I'm now going to be on as a recurring guest or a recurring role. Not a guest because I'm staying. Anyway, so I'm very excited because I'm only surrounding myself this year with people who are successful. How about you? As an actor, we find ourselves listening to a lot of our friends on the phone go, oh, by the way, you're still live on Instagram. Go on my link. Check out the show. But anyway, I find myself on the phone with people all the time, actors, and they go, well, I'm not going to do that this year, guys and gals. So there it is. With that being said, let's launch into the show, the real stuff. I'm very excited with me and my Harry Potter glasses, which I've been told. I'm going to show you a really cool demo, or a really cool trailer, I should say, for a film that just came out from Sean Piccinino, director, actor, producer, that we call it triple threat. Take a look at this.
Hey, Hannah, you ready to do this?
Yeah.
It was exactly 1 year ago that I stumbled onto this property and became a ranch hand. And I didn't know it at the time, but it was the best thing that ever happened to me. So, Callie Bernay, will you marry me?
Your father's company. Your mother left it in your name, but things are falling apart.
I gotta go to the city. I was hoping that you could come with me to San Francisco.
Oh. Don't mind if I do.
Here we are. Welcome to San Francisco.
This place is wild.
I have a few friends that want to meet you.
Hi, yo! Up top, broski.
Any more surprises?
Victoria.
No scruff. Cute.
The Van Aston Holiday Alliance Gala.
The fate of this company will rely on the success more than any other year.
I think we need to take advantage of the Christmas spirit. Bring a little small town to the big city.
I love you.
I know. You're like our perfect little Christmas gift, aren't you?
I don't know what I thought your life looked like, but I never expected it to be so much. I don't know, I don't want anything to change.
Callie, I love the life that we've created, but this is my dad's company. Either I sign the paperwork or we lose everything that he worked for.
What happens to our life in Petaluma?
Callie, we can figure this out.
Figure yourself out.
Relationships are all about compromise.
The best things in life aren't things at all. It's each other.
Wow. So first of all, I'm going to say when I started off watching him, like 20-year-old guys with their shirts off. Winner, you got it. and then I was thinking he's got to go take care of the family business, and he's got to go alone. It's a wonderful life. And then it did a little. So welcome to the show, Sean. Very excited to have you here. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm doing great. Had a very nice holiday with the family. Just kind of, really relaxing, low key. We didn't do anything crazy, but it was just really nice to kind of get some downtime and you know, kind of roll out this film for
Yeah.
the holidays.
Hold on a second. I need to Google relax down down.
I know it's a very foreign concept to me.
I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I know it is for you because I've known you for a while, and every time I'm talking to you, you got a lot of stuff going on. But one thing I want to say that's kind of cool is that I have a small group of friends that are in the industry that in the last 2 years, 2.5, I'll say a little pre-COVID, and I almost want to ask you if COVID had anything to do with this, but have then springboarded into what now I will say that you're just jamming like salmon upstream in Seattle. I mean, you just are. It seems like you're knocking them down. And I remember 2.5 years ago, same sort of thing as I'm saying, as we're kind of going, yeah, yeah, I'm hustling, I'm doing this. I mean, we're still hustling, but the point I'm trying to make is that there a switch that flipped, and honestly, did COVID have anything to do with it?
Well, as far as working and being busy, not necessarily.
Right.
But as far as people watching the projects that I've been working on, yes. And, our first California Christmas movie, which I directed as well last year, that, we filmed it in June of 2020, which nobody was really working at that point. So it was kind of the wild, wild west. Referencing your new movie I saw there with Tim Murphy. I think that looks really awesome, by the way. Um, but yeah, so we just felt lucky to be able to shoot that movie at that time. And then when it came out, December of 2020, we did not expect it to kind of blow up the way it did. I mean, it did gangbusters. It did beyond our wildest belief. Uh, Finding an audience, worldwide. That was the crazy thing. We didn't expect it to, resonate and connect as much as it did, and you know, we all just felt incredibly happy that it found an audience and that people enjoyed it. I mean, that's all you ever really want, right? Is if you're creating something for people to enjoy it. You
Right.
don't want people not to enjoy it. I don't think. Maybe there's people out there that want you not to enjoy your stuff, but
Yes, you're.
and that garnered a sequel, which none of us saw coming.
Yeah.
We were like, oh wow, here we go. Let's do it again. And of course, um, you know, being the group of the film family that we have, we all jumped at the chance to do the sequel.
Of course. And, talking about the fact that people started liking it, I think there's a couple of things to be said about that. Number one, I say on the show all the time, that's why I rebranded my Acting Up Radio to Film Festival Live, is that, I mean, you've been doing this for a long time. And so you know what I'm talking about when I say that it's changed. I mean, it used to be that you had to go through the five or the six, whoever they were, the networks or the studios, and you had to sit there and pitch and show. And now, I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I know Netflix because I've done two Netflix films, and the fact of the matter is that they're kind of just saying, "Yeah, we don't want to sit in a room with you with a pitch deck and things like that. Just show us the film." And
Yeah,
and I know that's how O Matador or The Killer happened in Brazil. They went, okay, shoot it, you're in it, you're do it, whatever. And then a couple other things I've done. And the fact is that nowadays, because of film festivals and the 8,000 to 10,000 that we have in our group, um, that's where people are really being seen by everybody. And it's now the big boys. They're still the big boys, but they're sitting here waiting in. As the best way to put it is that the film festivals used to be in the back seat. Now they're in the front seat driving. And
yeah, yeah.
correct. I mean, tell me if I'm right with that.
I think I've always loved film festivals. Yeah, you and I have been at this business now for a bit, and so I've always thought that film festivals are just such wonderful way to bring like-minded people together,
Yeah.
and obviously the networking capabilities of that, and just showing each other work, and you go, man, that's so cool, I want to work with that guy. That happens to me every time. That, oh my gosh, that actress is so amazing in this, I've got to cast her in something in the future. So it's just such a wonderful experience all around for me. But yeah, I think the industry has shifted a lot, from when it went to streaming, and then now with how COVID has affected how streaming and theatrical release, and
Yeah.
it is again kind of the wild wild west out there,
Yeah.
and I think the streaming services are doing the big 100 million plus movies, and then they're also giving opportunities to young independent filmmakers. So it really is, kind of an amazing time to be a filmmaker. There is a lot more opportunity, but there's also a lot more competition. So it's really interesting.
Yeah.
It's
It is interesting.
you know
One of the things I will say about you that I know from my experience is that I talk about all the time about how show business has the word business in it. That people are, and especially actors, they're always forgetting that you got to think about the numbers. And, there's only two things we want from a film when it comes out, in my opinion, as an actor. One is to get people to watch it, and two, to get paid. Um, Both of those sometimes can be difficult, but the fact
yeah.
of the matter is that it is a place for us to potentially make a film. Look at my. This is the really called. I forgot what it's called. Let me see. It's on my back here. This is the new
The
shift.
13 Pro.
Yeah, it's a 13 Pro, but
Ooh,
shift cam, which allows me to
yeah,
screw in lenses, and it has a
yeah.
holder that allows it to go like this. And I just got a gimbal that holds the third. I'm all ready to go. Point is that you can make, even just if actors are thinking about 10, 15 years ago, you had the headshot, you have your agent, you have Actors Access, you have all them, which I was paying $120 a month for, which I
Yeah.
now am not doing because I'm realizing that a lot of that is so hanging low fruit that you're one of 4,800 going after that.
Right.
So this, by doing film festivals, and really, I mean, you started off in my, if I'm not wrong, didn't you start off doing a lot of music videos?
Yeah, I started actually when I was like 16 directing commercials for mom and pop shops. So I would act, direct, write, basically just pitching concepts
Yeah.
to people around town. And still to this day, I'm surprised that anybody went with any of these ideas, because they were pretty wild. Like, I was doing kung fu theater and like to sell paint. It's like, why would anybody ever say yes to that? But I guess I was very convincing. But yeah, I mean, I did my very first split screen,
Yeah.
not green screen, but split screen visual effect technique with tape to tape, not reel to reel, but it was the same method. It was tape to tape, and trying to do a split screen. And I played, I think it was a Rain Man like
Oh,
parody. So
sure.
I was playing both characters,
Yeah.
and anyways, and that was for a record store downtown. Like, why was Rain Man selling records? I don't know, but that's how I cut my teeth. It was a lot of fun and interesting, and grateful for those opportunities, and that led me to then doing shorts and music videos and all of that stuff. So
Well, I will say that again, going back to the beginning and looking at the fact that even the fact that you said that you cut, spliced, and you did your own thing. Look, same thing. I mean, I started off as an actor, but then went into talk radio and producing a lot of that, and then also producing people's speakers, demos, and so on. And when you say that you've done that, that means that you've been here, one, a while, and number two, you know the transition into technology. And let's just briefly talk about that alone. What you had in the beginning, even if we go back as far as, let me see if I can figure out a camera that's right. How about a XL1, Canon XL1?
oh yeah, yeah.
Love that camera, run and gun. It looked like you were professional. People
I
loved
was a game changer.
it. It was a game changer. Well, how has technology affected what you do?
Well, um, just purely from a like kind of an independent filmmaker standpoint, it really, some of these shots. Let's take a drone for example. I have a DJI like Mavic Air 2.
Yeah. Okay.
I used to, every film I want a techno crane, right? I want to get that shot like Spielberg, right?
Yeah.
Those are very expensive.
Yeah.
And I can do a very similar thing with the drone, and the technology has come far enough now, and the image quality is good enough now for you to pass a lot of those things. And so those are tools that are incredible. The gimbals, like you have there for the iPhone, I have one for my Blackmagic. I have a Blackmagic Pocket 6K,
Yeah.
which I had a 4K version of it, and I used it on a lot of the movies. My Pocket 6K I used on California Christmas 2, which you showed the trailer there for, and we use it for a B or C camera,
Sure.
or a pickup day camera, and it's incredible how well it matches with a $100,000 camera.
I know.
And those are just these tools that I wouldn't, or we wouldn't have access to even just 5, 10 years ago. And they allow you to do things like that gimbal that I just got. I haven't used it yet on a shoot, but I'm really excited to, because for one specific feature above all else is it allows me to do a rolling 360 shot.
Oh,
And so
sure.
I'm
Sure.
talking about the Stanley Kubrick, pushing through a hallway and the world is spinning 360 degrees. Now, to do that shot again, just 5 years ago, it's a very expensive shot to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, with my less than $1,000 gimbal, I can do it,
All day
and I
long.
can do it in 6 and 8K.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
One of the things I'll say about what you said is that it's also allowed, and there's a lot of excitement when you're talking about making and creating. But when you talk about the fact that you can pick up your phone and get a quality that they're saying, or you can have a gimbal. Look, when I shot Signal, when I was doing Netflix in Brazil for 46 days a few years ago, we picked up my 5S and we shot Signal, and it's gotten 20 awards. I got two Best Actors, which is really great. But on top of that, it makes you think differently because we were taking tripod and doing this for that shot and trying to get that really cool shot, one of the shots we got. And now, and I ordered in Brazil a relatively inexpensive gimbal that we were using for that to get these shots. But, it's exciting because you kind of go, oh, I don't need a jib arm, or I don't need I don't need this, what do you call it? What's
Steadicam.
Yeah. I mean, Steadicam. Yeah. You don't need, I mean, you can do all of this. And like I used to have the Blackmagic 4K as well. I got rid of it because I didn't have, when you get that, you don't go like, hey, let's go shoot films. You got to grab that cage and
Yeah.
slap the
Yeah.
fucking There's so much shit to add to it. But that's part of the fun is that you're being forced to learn how to do it right. And it's fun because it's not $5 million you can't afford.
Right.
Wow. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to take a small little break because I want to, if you don't mind, you got time to stick around?
Yep.
I want to ask you some more questions here. I'm going to throw in something really quickly here. Hang tight. So, just so you know, if you happen to be in the Los Angeles area or actually Atlanta or anywhere around the country, a good friend of mine, David Hill, who provides movie rental vehicles and picture cars, uniforms, props, and more. I do a lot of SWAT, and I have a full LAPD uniform. Like I got all this stuff on eBay. Actors, listen up because you can. And so all these different things he hires out. Uh, Police, detective, all these different things. So if you're looking for this to help fill your space, by all means, check it out. I'm going to throw my pitch in there because I want to go get something. Hold on a second. Here I am. Actors and people out there, I really want you to start thinking a little differently this year in regards to your career. Stop thinking about being desperate because no one likes a desperate creative person, especially actors. So try to do something that's kind of interesting. I had 3 actors come up to me online that I know that said, here's a demo, my demo. And I'm like, wow, there's a lot of bad footage in there. And there's a lot of stuff in there. And they were like 6 minutes long. let's be honest. No one's going to watch a 6-minute demo. No one's going to watch a 3-minute demo. So I created a thing called a flash demo, and I want you just to understand that this is created so I can get it in front of people quickly before their attention span went out the window, because we're all hooked on iPhonics. So this right here is a video that I put together that is a little part in the beginning of me talking, and then the demos in the middle, and then the end. I actually sent this out to a mass email, but it wasn't through me. It was through someone else. It was an ad that said, "Hey, casting directors, if you're interested in upping your game and making your casting place look wonderful," I made the ad look like it was a furniture ad. And when they clicked it, they saw this. Hey, thanks for clicking the banner. Now, I know you're dying to know what it is that makes a successful casting office or director or production. And the answer is actors. See, you can have a great script, great casting director, a director, producer, but here's the problem. You always need good actors. To be or not to be. But let's face it, there's way too many of us. And we can't market to you, which is odd considering that they call it show business, and that means that there's business in the show. We can't call you. We can't send you an email. We just submit to the breakdowns like the other 4,800 that submitted to you on that casting call, with no action-packed pitch letter, sales letter, and all we do is stand in line and remain quiet. Let's be honest. Lines are for Starbucks, not for careers. If I still have your attention, I want you to watch this next 46-second video. Now don't go away, because there's a quiz after this.
Detective Gennaro, I need to speak with Rex Wilson.
Rex is already out there on the speedway for his practice run.
You know what I mean.
Now let me see your shotgun.
Here, cool it down.
Just like your old man, huh? Is there a problem, soldier? I'm asking you a question, Lieutenant.
Running in clown shoes.
This is gonna be fun.
Time! What if they need more time? See? That wasn't so painful. And I even saw a couple of you laughing. So if you like what you saw, operators are standing by.
Yeah, well, Robert's is great. For sure. Oh, you want to book him?
That's my agent. And if you didn't like my approach, well, I'm Daniel Craig, and I hope you enjoyed this commercial. So anyway, bottom line is that I'm telling you actors and you creatives to stop thinking about the things that you need so much and start doing things that are part of pitching you. I know it's difficult, but in this day and age, as I was talking with Sean, which I will do in a moment, about having the availability of doing all your own stuff and doing your own thing, start learning it. Because I have to tell you how many times I've been surprised by some even really well-known people that I know that are going like, dude, how do you self-tape like that? And your studio looks, you must spend millions. No, everything I have here probably cost me under $500. Fact of the matter, except for my Canon right there. But even a regular webcam, you can do this and make it happen. Don't shortchange your stuff. Believe in yourself. One of the key components about a successful person is confidence, which I lack none of. All right, back to the show. Here we go. Hey, so here you're back. You're back. I caught you.
Hey,
I caught you texting. So I went to go get.
No, it was my Apple Watch.
I have this one. I love this one.
Oh yeah,
Weebly or whatever it's called.
Yeah, I have one of those too. Yeah,
I love these things because that right there, that cost me $200.
Yeah,
holds my DSLR, and just the stuff you can do it like you said is just phenomenal.
Yeah, yeah. It's like, again, it's game changing technology that in the past, you would need that. Not only a Steadicam rig, but you would need one that had that full swivel 360 head, which those are crazy expensive, and yeah, it's pretty amazing.
Yeah. By the way, I just want to point out to you that it was me that ran to get my hat to look like Sean. I said, I
had to be Hat Brothers.
Hat Brothers. Anyway, let me ask you, in your success that you have right now, and getting where you were. I know you went through, like you said, you were like 16 and you were doing stuff, commercials and making stuff and you're doing what you were doing. Was there a downtime where you, I hate to ask, but were you depressed? Were you sitting there going, I mean, what am I doing? Did you say, what am I doing? And by all means, did you say to yourself, because you're also a professional actor, did you say to yourself, I'm going to give myself 10 years and then I'm out? Because a lot of people do that.
Yeah, I never gave myself like a deadline like that, but I've had ups and downs. This business is that. But I did have probably my lowest time was after I'd put in a lot of effort into doing a film, which by all standards was successful. We won 14 awards across the country. You know, we did all the film festival circuit. I had a wonderful time, but it was one of those things, you know, I had wrote it, directed it, edited it, you know, the whole nine. And uh, you know, in my perception at that time, the phone calls didn't happen. You know, I didn't get contacted, even though everybody was praising it, saying how wonderful this and that. It's by no means a perfect movie, but we did the whole. It was a feature, and we made it on $7,500.
Wow.
And which was the challenge. Like, you know, we had read at the time. I think we're very inspired by Robert Rodriguez doing El Mariachi around that same price. Of course, he had done it, I think, 15, 20 years before us, but so that 7,000 didn't maybe go as far, but still, that was the fun challenge of it. Like, let's do this thing, and by all means, I was proud of the work we had done, and with a great group of filmmakers up in Bakersfield. You've got Hectic Films,
Sure.
Ricky Bird, Jason Sanders. They really helped like that whole vision that I had on it, and make it a reality. But the problem is that I just, you know, I had spent so much, you know, time and effort without making any money,
Sure.
and you know, I didn't see, you know, fast enough, I guess, you know, results or things like that to continue the career path going forward. So I did get pretty low, and I kind of had a reset moment where I just started shooting commercials again, and working with the wonderful advertising agency and one of my good friends there, Tommy Iorio. Um, so we're just making commercials, you know, just whatever commercials, whatever clients came along, and it actually was a nice moment in time where I got to just kind of recenter and actually pay some bills and those kinds of things, and then uh, you know, I started going, I need to keep my creative non-commercial side going,
Right.
and so I started just doing some YouTube series stuff, and uh, you know, funny full circle moment is, oops, I lost you there.
No, you didn't lose me.
Oh, oh, you just went full screen. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
cool. You
I
were
wanted
so
to make sure we were still connected.
you were so riveting. I thought, you know. All right, go ahead.
So, yeah, I just started making some web series stuff on my YouTube channel, and thought, you know what, this will be a nice outlet, a way to continue being creative, and with a great, you know, group of friends, like just getting together and making some different stuff. And one of my writing partners and good friends, Brian Suskind, we kind of wrote a silly superheroes getting therapy show. Also, Tatiana Dektar was one of the creators of that show, and so we were just having fun, having a good time. And the funny thing about it all is uh, through social media, through promoting these things, which you were touching on earlier, it's so important. Is that then I started getting some emails and some calls, and the kind of full circle thing is a really good friend of mine who I actually hadn't worked with in years at that point. He saw one of the posts and one of the episode things and thought it was fun. And then he recommended me to a producer. And I went and interviewed with that producer for a very big production to be one of the directors. It was actually a TV series. And they then watched that $7,000 movie, a little bit to my chagrin, because I was like, oh gosh, don't watch this. It's so low budget. But they watched it, and my producer friend Noel Vega, who had put me up for this, he told them that's made on $7,000, and they instantly went, "We're hiring him,"
Oh wow.
because if that's the
Yeah.
kind of thing that he's capable with that
Let's give him
money.
8. Let's give him 8.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And so, there it was, that movie that I thought was kind of not helping my career at all. It actually played a big part in helping it. So, for people who get discouraged by that stuff, it's not always instant, and it's one of those things where, I've definitely had this attitude of never give up, never surrender. And I think it takes that in this business. If you really want to make it, it's the people that stick it out. Yes, you have to have talent, but there's a lot of talented people out there. Yes, you have to have, I think a good attitude takes you a long ways.
Yeah.
But then that really big ingredient is that determination and the unwillingness to give up, even when times seem dire or tough. And again, I'm not saying, be starving and go live on the streets
That's just
for
fun.
your art. I mean, that's one approach, but if you need to take a side job and pay your bills, please do that. But don't give up on the creative adventure.
There's so much that you said. Oh my God, do we have 2 more hours? No, Sean, this is really stuff that, in my opinion, look, this is a free show. It's being seen on all these different platforms, and people should be gluing themselves to this, going like this, and writing down notes. Because let me take this from the beginning. First of all, the fact of the matter is that you're talking about something I call seeding. And I say this all the time because you know what? I remember sitting in my car. Maybe this is kind of a bizarre movie, I bet, but as a professional clown sitting there crying in my car going, why not me? Why not me? Why am I hustling, making balloon animals? Why am I doing all this? What am I doing? Well, fast forward to now, like the fact that I just did the Redeemer with Tim and also Brandon Roth, who I actually have a gunfight with, and some other, Chris Melky. Some really great people. I was actually coaching. I was coaching Tim V. Murphy on how to spin guns, and then I went, I'm going to show this. Do you mind if I show this on Instagram? He said, oh, no, go ahead, mate. You which I want. And I'm like, great. So I showed it on there, and I tagged the director, and he goes, dude, he says, this is awesome. How did he do? I went, he did great. He goes, I sure would love to and have you on this film. I'm like, what are you waiting for? And he goes, oh, how about if I write a role in? Well, consequently, one of the secondary leads hit the road, or his manager was asking too much. And I went, I'll do it. And the thing is that all the things that you were talking about is that you went and you did a commercial. You started doing commercials. Well, one, you're honing your skills. You're doing new equipment. You're going along with the trends. You're figuring out new ways of doing things. You're building your confidence and not sitting there, because I think when you need money, you tend to be able to skip that part where you're building your confidence, because you're just like balls out going, I got to make money to be able to survive. And I get it. I'm like the jack of all trades and master of a few, by the way. But the point is that what you're saying is absolutely true, is that you cannot expect that $7,500 movie is going to get you, unless you're, I don't know, someone's brother, mother, sister that's famous already. Maybe then they'll pay attention to you because they'll go, oh, that's what's his name's kid. I hate to say that, but that's nepotism. But the fact is that this is a business where you put little things in place and you keep moving. The minute you stop putting things in place, and like you said, you don't want to quit your day job if you need to make money, but you got to keep moving, because this is a business that is the worst business in the world by far. So if you're thinking about doing this, by the way, anybody, I highly recommend you don't do it. Plus, you don't need the competition. But if you're going to do it, the fact of the matter is that it is 24/7 a day, 24/7 a day. And the minute you start thinking that you don't have what it takes, and you don't understand how to work some of these things, go to Starbucks. They need baristas all day long. And I don't mean that to be disrespectful, but don't you agree? It's this. You're kind of a military. I know you well enough to know that you ride motorcycles, you stunt, you do all kinds of shit. But you're in it to win it, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I've always been, one of those people that whatever I'm going to put my mind to, I want to. I'm an explorer by nature too. This is true in all walks of my life. If you stick me on a cruise ship, I'm going to know every inch of that cruise ship by the end of the day, because that's just who I am. I want to know how it works. I want to, they'll be like, "Why are you in the engine room, sir? You have to get out of here."
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
just
how it
that guy. So I love knowing how things work, and I had a great mentor in when I first came to LA, and he produced some major. We're talking the show 24 and the
wow.
Fast and the Furious franchise, and I was his personal trainer. Right when I first moved to LA, I
Oh,
was that was one of my jobs of many, and he told me, look, then this is we're talking 2000, 2001. He was telling me this business is shifting and changing so fast. He goes, if you really want to be a filmmaker, he gave me the no job is too small, but he said you have to, take any job that has to do with film making
yeah,
or TV making or whatever. Just take the jobs, learn them. You don't have to become a master in all of them, but by understanding this process, it's going to make you a better filmmaker. And I think I said this on your show before. His term was diversify or die, and I adopted that, and it became my mantra. And I didn't turn down a job. It
yeah,
didn't matter what it was, and my IMDb is now kind of crazy as a result. I bet your IMDb is similar. I've got makeup credits and wardrobe credits and you name it. But I wear that all with the badge of honor. It is. I'm by no means a makeup master or anything like that, but I do feel like, from the grip work I've done, I understand what grips have to do.
yeah.
And I understand, when we all snap our fingers and say, all that, scaffolding needs to move over here to there, that's going to take an effort. That's going to take, work. And I understand, at least on some level, what that means. Or if we need to, go from the bruised, bloody face back to their neutral look and then back. I understand how long that's going to take, or at least a ballpark.
Yeah.
It's not like, hey, we just make it happen, magic wand. You know what I
Well,
mean?
that's funny you
So,
say that, because when I was working with Cirque du Soleil and also consulting and doing coaching, whether it's weapons or whatever it happens to be, a lot of times they'll go like, "Hey, can you do?" I remember the director, Vincent Patterson, Vogue, Smooth Criminal, saying to me,
oh
"Will,
wow.
I want the rope. I need you to keep it up in the air." I'm like, "You mean defy physics?" I can't do that. And so there's a lot of misconception. But one thing I want to say that you said, and I want to add the word actor in, and all in capital letters, actor, is because, look, I used to be the guy, I remember I did 25, 30 years of theater. And I'm telling you this much, in the beginning, I worked up through chorus and did everything. I did a lot of dance, obviously. And the fact of the matter is, we can talk about that. But the fact of the matter is that I was the guy going when I started getting successful in theater. I was like, oh yeah, I don't do. Someone said, can you stage manage this because you're so. I'm like, I'll be in my dressing room. Where are my red M&Ms? Well, let me tell you something I learned when I got older, which is exactly what you're saying, which is when you start doing, and I keep grabbing this is the only camera I have, I can't grab that one. When you start doing all these different things, you understand the different jobs that are that you have in front of you as a filmmaker or a TV or whatever short webisode. You do something to your acting that is something you can't learn anywhere. It's called experience, and it's called knowing where how to hit your mark, or seeing and feeling the light, doing the different things. When you come up, here's a director question. Would you much rather, this is a stupid question, would you much rather have an actor that's done all these other side jobs and all these other things, or an actor you go, oh, that person, well, I know they're really good as an actor, but kind of have a bit of an issue, in productions. I mean, what would you rather have?
Oh, obviously, it's you want somebody who again just respects the process, and that comes through experience. That comes through, understanding that. I tell aspiring actors, whenever I get asked advice, uh, I don't be afraid of going and being a PA on a set. Don't be afraid of going and doing that stuff, because you're going to see how a set works. It is, and in some cases, a paid education,
Yeah.
or do extra work
Yeah.
and pay attention. When
Yeah.
I did extra work as well when I first moved to LA. I think you and I have talked about this,
Yes.
but I took notes. I
Yeah.
literally brought a yellow pad, whatever, the yellow legal pad or whatever they're called, and I literally took notes. Like, what does that mean to hit your mark? What are they doing with the tape, measuring from the lens to the face? I was taking notes on all of this stuff, to learn. What are the cues? What are the terms? And just seeing the presence, set etiquette. I mean, it's one of the best ways you can learn set etiquette is go you know, be a coffee runner. I did it, and I even did it after I had bigger jobs under my belt. I still took a coffee, PA job,
Yeah.
because the people that were involved in the project are people I wanted to work with.
Yeah.
And in a couple weeks, I went from a coffee runner to a visual effects artist on a show once. I mean,
Yo.
that's just crazy.
Yeah.
But it's having that positive attitude, being somebody who is a problem solver. It's a part of the solution person. Like, if you're that type of attitude, sometimes you can jump in job titles in film and television.
I mean, when you think about it, the fact is that by the way, I shortened the term to setiquette. Setiquette.
Love it. Love it.
But the fact of the matter, like when I started off in Central California, San Jose, and San Francisco, I was doing A Fine Romance. These are TV shows that are back in the '80s and early '90s. Caitlin, well, one of the angels. She had
Oh, yeah.
well, all this stuff, and it's interesting because I was doing like about 4 or 5 years worth of like solid background work. But what I wound up doing as well is they said, "Hey, you look like," which when you're 5'11", 5'10", 5'11", and you look like me, they go, "You look like the star. Can you do lighting stand-in?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure." Well, let me tell you, what a great experience, and what a great thing on your resume to say you're lighting stand-in, because you're
Yeah.
literally standing there for the star of the show, so they're focused on you. I mean, you don't want to sit there and go, "Make them there," But the point is that you are in their face. You're there. You're learning so much about the craft. You're learning all the things you need to do. I highly recommend. I mean, I know our egos are bigger than Texas sometimes, but you got to think about it. You're on set with people that are potentially really, really good. You're on set with people that are experts at what they do, and you're, like you said, it's like an intern job being paid. It's just
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
you do.
Paid education is not a bad thing.
A bad thing at all. Sean, I'd love to keep you for another few hours, but you got to go somewhere and be successful as well. I thank you so much for coming on the show. Any last things? What's up with the future? You got anything going on?
Yeah, I'm keeping busy. I've got another. So this Christmas movie that just came out is actually my fifth.
Wow.
Is that correct? Fifth Netflix film, and then I have a sixth coming out in July.
Great.
In the summer, I'll have another very fun romantic comedy. Light. Just make you smile type of movie. I'm real excited about that. I don't know if I can say the name quite yet, but.
We'll have you on.
But be on the lookout. I will have another film with my wonderful ESX Entertainment crew. Ali Afshar again is the producer. Daniel Aspermonte. I love these guys, and Christina Moore and John Ducey. John Ducey wrote this one again, which he's written several of my films. Always love working with him, and his wife Christina Moore. So yeah, I mean that was a blast working on that. So I have that, and then I am in pre-production right now on another film. Of course, those details I have to be pretty scarce on, but I'm very excited. Probably going to be shooting that in March, April, something like that.
Great. Well, don't go away. I want to say goodbye to you, but hang tight. And thank you again, Sean Piccinino. Of course. Oh, I didn't put it in there. Let me just do this really quick.
Thanks so much for having me.
Hold on a second. What's your website again? Is Sean's a director or something like that? What is it?
Oh, directorshawn.com you can go to.
Yeah.
Obviously, find me on social media. Instagram is what I kind of use the most, and
Okay.
that's if you look up Director Sean, you'll find me.
I will.
Director Sean, SHAUN.
Oh wait, hold on.
Usually, I'll pop up.
Hold on. Director SHAUN.
AUN.
Did I spell your name wrong in the lower thirds?
I can't see. No, I don't think so. It looks right.
God. DirectorSean.com.
DirectorSean.com. Yep.
Okay, stand by. So if you're interested, let's make this bigger. There we go. Right below your name, right there. Check it out, DirectorSean.com. Also, Instagram, you can check him out and follow him. He always says some interesting stuff. But by all means, man, you got to check out all his dance videos.
We need to collab on a dance video.
We need to collab on a dance video.
Of all the people in the planet, it's you and I need to do a dance video.
We think we need to do a dance film. I still think Dance Dad 2022 should be.
Yeah, we talked about that.
I think it would be funny watching. I love the premise of. Anyway, there's a lot of things. He's got a kid. We'll talk about it. Hang tight. Don't leave me. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this show and then say hello or goodbye to you. Hang tight. All right, everybody. That is the show. You know, one thing I want to recap really quickly and tell you is that, you know, what Sean and I were talking about and what Sean said was really at the end, I want to say this, is that another thing I think you should be working towards in 2022 is finding your team. Okay? Because, look, I have to tell you, I mean, I know Sean gets this all the time. People come up and go, hey, wouldn't it be great if you wrote and you shot and you and you're like, what would you do? Well, I don't do any of that, but it would be great if you did it and I was in it. And yeah, sure would. So the point is that get a team of people that you can work with. I'm currently talking to a few people I know that and saying, hey, let's put something together that's going to be really good and gets our best work out. Because let me tell you something that you may not know. When you go to auditions and you're going out there and you're trying to, you know, go after the role, you get your sides as an actor, what happens? Let me tell you. You're doing their material. You're doing their material and trying to make you fit into their material. Let me tell you something. Create your own thing. And then when you do, write down all your strengths and go, well, I'm funny. Well, I do this with that, and you know, and then create that job and create that character. Because then when they see you on the film, it's really cool. It's this thing we call natural. And you're not acting. Because the minute you're acting and you feel like you're acting, you are. To be or not to be. So please put together a team of people that are all successful in your mind, and you go out there and you do it. And please, by all means, let us know when you do it, because maybe I'll have you on the show like Sean. All right, everybody, have a great day. Have a good time. See you next week. And, of course, we'll keep you up to date. Go out there, have fun, be good, and most of all, be successful. See ya.